We spoke extensively about Aljamain Sterling and what happened a couple of weekends ago in Fresno, and wanted to check in with him and see how he's feeling and get some thoughts on what transpired against Marlon Moraes. He is kind enough to be joining us via the magic of Skype. There he is, Aljamain Sterling, putting some drops in his mouth. What is that, Aljo?
This is actually CBD oil from Pure Spectrum.
Okay.
It helps with the brain. A lot of things, all the fine stuff that you can get from the hemp plant,
Okay, wow.
I take it every day.
Every day?
Yeah, all good stuff.
You feel like it helps you?
I think so. One of the main things I think it helps me with is just sleeping in general.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I have a hard time sleeping at night, which can be suck. It sucks.
Right. Well, you look good. I like the beard. I like the hair. Everything looks good. How are you feeling 9 days after that fight against Marlon?
Besides being disappointed and being slightly kicked down the pedestal a little bit, I feel the same, man. I don't really feel too bad. I think it would have been worse had I lost to a prick of an opponent. But Marlon's a great guy, great dude. I've known him before he got to the UFC, and I always knew our paths would cross. And I never wanted to train with him specifically because of that. And sure enough, we got to fight, but not really, I guess. But things happen. This is the fight game, and sometimes you go in there and things like that happen.
Do you remember the fight at all? Do you remember the ending? Do you remember anything about the fight?
I remember pretty much every single detail of that fight until I got hit by the knee, and that's when it just all fades to black.
Wow.
Literally everything black right then and there.
At what point do you start to remember things about that night?
When I got to the hospital, it was actually pretty bad. I guess my brother was saying that I was awake, but I kept asking him the same questions over and over and over. And he said at that point he just stopped answering me. And then when he realized I started to get mad, he realized that the real me was actually back, because I was starting to get pissed. I was like, he knows how I am. So it was like, this must really be a question that you can actually remember at this point. So yeah, when we got to the hospital, I was laying in the bed. I saw that I had my fight shorts on, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I got hit by the knee. And then he was like, oh, wow, you're actually back. And I was like, yeah, I remember every single thing that happened, and now I'm in the hospital. But,
wow.
Yeah.
What was the question that you were asking him over and over again?
I guess he said I was asking him, like, what happened? Like, over and over, like, what happened? And then he kept saying, I told him to explain it to me one more time. So how did I get hit by the knee? So what happened again? So how did I get hit by the knee again? Yeah, so I can imagine how scary that must have been.
Have you watched it since on television?
Not on TV, but I've watched it over and over on the highlights, on YouTube, on Instagram, and yeah, pretty much as much as you could possibly watch it. I just wanted to see exactly what I did to make sure what I remembered was exactly what happened and exactly what it was. I kind of, just to take you guys through the fight. So in the moment, I normally hit that check right hook when I step back into that southpaw stance, and Marlon did a great job. He threw that lead uppercut. It came with that left hook right around my right hand and caught me right behind the ear. So I went down for a split second, and he tried to jump all over me, but I still had my wits about me. And as he does that, I'm trying to latch on a triangle choke. As he pulls his arm out, I feel the arm bar. I try to switch over to an arm bar. He manages to get his arm out, but I felt like the arm, like, locked. And I was like, man, I can get this guy. I can get him. And then as soon as he pulls out and he turns away to stand up, I stand up. And then I just think in my head, I just gotta grab him. I just gotta grab this guy, and I'm gonna backpack him, and it's gonna be it. And as soon as I did that, the ref jumps in. I don't know why he jumped in. It's not like we were sitting on the floor and he was kicking my legs. But that little pause in the action, I guess I kind of got really antsy, and just as soon as he stepped away, I know Moraes was kind of looking down, and I was kind of looking up to fake him out and then to shoot in. And as I look up and I look down and he's looking down, he looks up, he hits that switch kick, and I run right into his knee. And that's the last thing I remember. It's kind of like a movie. I freeze framed it in my head, and I'm like, I could just hear the ending. Like, you're probably wondering how I got here at this very moment. And at this very moment, this is where I fucked up. And yeah, pretty much that's where I fucked up and I ran right into that knee. It was pretty cool though, because not cool, but it was interesting because the way he threw that switch kick is exactly how I throw mine in training. I've actually cut some people's eyebrows because of that, because I lead with the knee and I chamber the kick. And it's just really odd to see somebody else who does it like that, because I've never seen him do it in like any of the tape that I watch. And so I wasn't really overly cautious about shooting in. I just thought I could get on his legs because the legs were there. So I shot from a distance thinking that I faked him out by just looking up and looking down. And I kind of just got ahead of myself and ran chin first into that knee. And I just remembered that was it. Good night. Good night, Irene.
It's clear that you're handling it well. I mean, even a couple of days later on Twitter, you're kind of joking about it. But to watch yourself get knocked out like that, first time in your career that happens, how difficult is that?
It was interesting. I was like, man, that's what that looks like, because you don't remember anything. You just wake up, like, surprise, I'm here, and then so I'm watching it over and over. I'm like, just trying to break it down. I'm like, there's not much I could take from this fight besides I got overly anxious to try to get my hands on him, and I just made a simple mistake. And he just happened to throw the right move at the right time, but it wasn't even the move that he landed, which was the knee, wasn't even what he was trying to do, which he actually said. But with the way he throws that kick, you actually lead with the knee, and that does pose a lot of trouble. And for a wrestler looking for that takedown as far away as I was, thinking I was in a safe range to shoot, which I really wasn't. I just kind of got ahead of myself, and just watching it over and over, I watched the way I landed. I was like, Jesus Christ, that looked so bad. So I really felt for like my friends and family that were back home looking at it and thinking like if I was all right, because it looked like I freaking died in there, man.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it looked like I died. It looked like I died in there, and then I hit my infamous dab. So there's not much I can say. You just take it, you take your hits on the chin, and you move on. That's life. I mean, I've been knocked down a few times in my life, and it's nothing different. It just sucks to have it happen on your first time on the main card, your 9th UFC appearance, and you get freaking put down in 67 seconds. It was just unreal.
Do you think that will change how you fight at all? Like, do you feel like there'll be any ill effects here?
Not so much. I think my last 2 fights before Marlon, I showed that I can be more aggressive and I can open up with the hands if I needed to. And I was looking to do that. I was looking to feel him out early and see what he was trying to go for with his game plan. But I wanted to put the pressure on him. And once I got that little taste of I can out grapple this guy, no problem. And I just got overly ahead of myself. I think it's just in this sport, it's a game of inches. You make one little mistake, and that can be, as you can see, that can be the end of your night. I think the same thing happened with Lamas the very next weekend, this past weekend. The same thing with Overeem. It happens, man. You just never know. Even with Daniel Cormier, like him fighting John Jones, him missing that check of that kick by a split second is the reason why he got put on wobbly legs and eventually led to him being finished. So it just happens like that in the sport. There's no big boxing gloves. There's no shin guards for you to get rattled, but you can still keep your wits and bearings about you. And it just so happens he hit me right on the button with that. Well, I ran right into that knee, and it hit I guess I hit myself right on the, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it, but I guess, I kind of, you going forward and running into an impact kind of doubles and triples that impact and just makes it that much worse.
So moments ago, you said that, it kind of looked like you died in there and you felt for your family and friends watching at home. Over the past week, I've gone on a few diatribes about this. I was very bothered by the way that was covered on television. There was no mention of you after the fact. They didn't show you. They didn't give us an update. I mean, if you're watching at home and if I'm a loved one, I know you, we're acquaintances, I cover you. I was concerned about you. I can't imagine how a family or friend, we got nothing. And you see Marlon Moraes off into the corner. They don't show you. You see that he's concerned. He's talking about you. And the whole thing was swept under the rug. Your name was never uttered again. Are you bothered by that at all? Do you feel like Ricardo Lamas gets knocked out brutally? They come back. He's okay. He's on the stool. They showed him briefly. Okay, we know he's okay. You never even got, a mention, let alone shown on camera. Do you think that that's the right thing to do, as opposed to in football? There's a brutal hit. We see the guy. It's just a harsh reality of the sport. Now that you're a part of it, how do you feel about that? What did your family and friends say about how that was covered on television?
Not for nothing. I enjoy being a part of the UFC, of course, but I definitely think they could have done a lot better with the updating the fans and everybody else, especially, you know, we have loved ones. We have loved ones back home, So I had people trying to call me, trying to reach me, and they couldn't get in touch with me. Obviously I was still delusional, both in one, and had no service. So the least they could have done was get a follow-up report and get something out for the press or something, at least for the people who are actively checking and wanted to really know, who were actually really concerned about how I was doing, could actually have some peace of mind and know what was going on. And not for nothing, man, I've been getting along a lot better with Sean Shelby and even Dana White himself. Obviously it's a business relationship, so I don't expect these guys to be my friends or my best friends. I don't look at it like that, but at least a text message to say, just checking and see if you're doing okay, making sure you're alive. I think that's common courtesy. I'm technically one of your employees, no matter if you want to call it we're self-employed. I'm one of your employees, dog. Like,
you didn't get that.
Even if I didn't like my boss, if you were my boss and I didn't like you, I'm still going to check on your well-being. That's just how I am. I don't know. Maybe everyone's just different, but I think from a human being standpoint, I think that would have been a cool thing to kind of, I guess, wake up to,
Yeah. You didn't get that.
Even now. No, I didn't.
Wow.
No.
Wow. That is, I didn't even know that.
It's kind of a letdown, but I almost wanted to text them sarcastically and be like, hey, just to let you guys know I'm alive. But you know what? Like I said, it's a business relationship. I know what I signed up for. I don't expect these guys to be my friends. I just thought they would have had a little bit more of, I guess, human decency to do something like that. But
sure.
And I'm not trying to put them in any position, but I just think for the future, not just saying woe is me, but for the future for other fighters, I think it would go a long way in terms of the fighters' minds and how we perceive our bosses. It makes it seem like they actually give a shit. That's all I'm saying. But
okay.
You told the guy who knocked me, great job. So I don't know.
Right. Right.
Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, no, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. You were taken out, I think, on a backboard. Do you remember any of that? Did you get worried that something serious was going on? Do you have any recollection of that?
Not at all. I saw the picture. I was taken off on a stretcher. I was like, God damn, man, could this get any worse? But I asked multiple people about how long I was down for, and I got like 5 different answers: 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. I'm like, so how long was I really down for? I guess when you're in the corner, my coaches and stuff, they couldn't really remember, because in the moment you're not really thinking about that. You're just trying to make sure your guy is okay.
Yeah.
So it's I just, for my own, I guess, recollection, I guess for my own personal wanting to know, I just want to know how long I was actually down for. I think that's something that I think anybody would want to know, for like, how long was I really out for?
Sure.
That's scary stuff.
Absolutely.
I've never been put out like that. I've been knocked out before in training earlier this year, and by actually Marlon's teammate, Zabit, and it was a spinning 360 roundhouse kick, caught me in the back of my neck. My eyes were still there. I didn't black out or anything, but I was down, like clearly hurt. And just where it landed, for the next 2-3 weeks, I had like vertigo really bad, like trying to lay down, trying to go sleep. I had to sit up to sleep because I was getting the spins really bad. And that was kind of a scary thing. I was like, man, concussions are like really no joke. I took a good amount of time off. I don't even think I really sparred before that fight where I fought Augusto Mendes. I took that fight on short notice because I needed to make money. And I was just in a position where I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to lose and get cut, I might as well make my money now and then figure out my life later. So that's just the way I'm looking at it. I overanalyze everything. I get it down to a T. That's just the way I am. And I break down things, and I just try to look at every single thing, dot my I's, cross my T's. And I was like, if I'm good enough, I'm going to win. I'm going to be in the UFC. If I'm not good enough, I'm going to lose. So I might as well just take this fight, roll the dice. I didn't really spar for that fight because I was really jacked up from that kick from Zabit. The sparring, clearly outclassed, but he was a lot bigger. I think the guy was huge, man. It's like, whatever. That's another story. But long story short, getting back to what I was saying, I was knocked out then. That knockout messed me up completely worse than this one. This one, Nothing. I had no headaches. I didn't have like any throbbing pains, which was weird. My chin wasn't even hurting. I thought I might have broke my jaw. I made sure when I woke up, the first thing I did was check my jaw. It wasn't broken. I just had to bust a lip, I guess, from the knee, just hit me in the side of the mouth, and that was pretty much it.
As far as training now, how long of a break are you going to take?
Well, I'm required to take 30 days off, no contact, but there's no one here to actually regulate that, obviously. As a smart individual and being a student of the game and just seeing all the other concussion stuff in football, soccer, and in MMA, just seeing the guys before me, I'm going to make sure I do myself the justice of taking that time off. And if I need to take more time off, I was going to take the time off regardless. I fought 4 times this year. It's a lot. The training itself is more detrimental on the body than the actual fight. And we had an actual joke because this knee, probably because of all my training, I don't really get hit in the head. I get hit in the body more than anything. So I guess from all my fights and all my sparring sessions, I guess this knee was like the culmination of all the hits I should have taken in those fights and in those training sessions. So it was kind of like a running joke, in team joke kind of thing, because I'm very good at avoiding getting hit, and that knee just made up for like everything. It's like everything was just rolled up into one big ball, boom.
Oh man!
So but going back to what you said, I'm just gonna take my time off, and I wasn't planning to fight till like March, April, but now that's like without a choice. So
sure, yeah. Well, I hope you actually bring up a great point, because we always report on these medical suspensions, but there's no one there to regulate them, so it's really on you and your coaches to do so. So I think now we're getting smarter about brain injury, and hopefully, I hope that you adhere to it and others do as well. There's no point in getting right back on that horse, right? It's probably more detrimental for the long term of your career than, to try to get a fight in there and get back on the horse, so to speak, right? We saw that with Michael Bisping.
Yeah, and I don't really understand that theory unless you're at the end of your career and you just want to make some quick coin real quick.
Yeah.
But I'm not making that much money where it's going to make that much of a difference, where it's going to make or break me. But it is what it is, I think some guys are too tough for their own good. Good thing I'm not like that. And I already knew I needed the time off to let my body heal up. And now I've been given that time off against my will, but sure enough, I'm going to make sure I take advantage of it and just stay sharp, stay using my jiu-jitsu, probably getting a couple more competitions, maybe even getting the EBI. Sharpen that up. I like competing. I think just competing in general is just something I always enjoy, and do something I love. People can make all the jokes that they want. It doesn't bother me, unless you're trying to be a dick and you're like purposely trying to be like hateful. If you make a joke, I can take a joke, but
yeah,
you're like trying. I get some guys on Twitter. This one guy he's tweeted me probably 30 times in the last, maybe even more than that, in probably the past week, and just constantly just chirping, talking shit. I'm like, I'm not even gonna block the guy, because I'm like, I want you to see that your words don't really affect me. I don't know if you get better about your day and about your pathetic life, that you constantly have to sit on Twitter to talk to one individual and let them know how you feel, when I, on the other side, really don't give a shit. But if we're in person and you decide to run your mouth like that, maybe things go a little bit differently. And, but that's another story. It's just always interesting, the people who are the tough guys that never done anything or accomplished anything in their life. I'm living my dream. I'm here where I am. I put in the work. I'm trying to cash out. That's the slogan. Put in work, cash out. And that's all you can do, man. You pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going forward. You roll with the punches, whatever life gives you, and keep pushing.
Well, a small piece of advice, I agree with you 100% as far as blocking is concerned. You don't want to give them that satisfaction, but discover the mute button, my friend, because they don't know that they've been muted. You just never see them again. That's the way to go. The mute is the greatest thing in the world.
I never knew that actually was actually mute. A thing. But now that you said that, just mute the guy. So now
go to settings, press mute, and he'll just be shouting into a black hole, and you'll never see it. It's a beautiful thing, but he doesn't know that he's muted. That's the beauty of it all.
Yeah. He started attacking me. Another guy started attacking me as well. Started attacking Truck. Jeez. I'm like, I don't know. These guys have I don't know. They must have boners and hard-ons for us. I really don't get it. I don't know. I guess I'm doing something right. They say if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So I guess I'm doing something right.
kudos to you on how you're handling it, Aljo. Really, it's impressive. Just being able to come on the show and talking about it, let alone sort of making jokes about it and whatnot on Twitter. I'm happy to hear that you're okay. And I agree wholeheartedly with everything that you said about, the way it was handled. I think you at least deserved a text, but that's neither here nor there at this point. Happy holidays to you, and hope you get in there soon enough. Take your time and get back on track whenever you're ready for that. I appreciate you doing this.
Thanks for having me, Ariel. I'm going to go coach my kids, bowl in high school, because this is what I do outside of fighting. Life goes on, and that's all you can ever ask for.
All right. Best of luck to you, Aljo. I appreciate it. There he is, Aljamain Sterling, doing great things with kids over on Long Island. Appreciate his time.